Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday. So if you wouldn't mind, please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We've got a lot to discuss. Again, I keep saying this every single day, but more things are happening as the day goes on. We are seeing Bitcoin get closer and closer to that all-time high. We reached as high as $68,713 yesterday, getting incredibly close to that all-time high. If we go back to November 2021, you can see the highest we reached on the Binance chart was around $69,016. So we are just hundreds of dollars away from that all-time high there, getting closer and closer. And it is brilliant to see, since we've been here since $16,000, telling everybody that Bitcoin was going to come back and having everybody tell us that it was a scam and that it was dead forever. So it's really nice to see this price action here. Really nice to see this upwards momentum. I think we've got more to go. I'm very excited to see how long it takes to break through that all-time high. Let's take a look at what's going on quickly in the markets here. So Bitcoin and Ethereum both up within the last 24 hours. Ethereum has finally started to regain some of that Bitcoin to Ethereum ratio. If we take a look at that quickly, Ethereum is up 6.7% within the last 24 hours, and Bitcoin is up 2.47%. So Ethereum has really started to regain some of that dominance there. If we take a look here, you can see that it is rallying right now against Bitcoin on the daily chart, on the 1 hour chart, making some moves back to the upside. Bitcoin has been outperforming Ethereum on the whole since around September 2022. We've seen this in a downtrend, and when this chart is in a downtrend, Bitcoin is outperforming Ethereum. When it's in an uptrend, Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin. Now, in the last couple of hours, we've really started to see Ethereum start to outperform Bitcoin again, and hopefully we can see that continue. But it has been pretty volatile, and the reason for that volatility is because Bitcoin is experiencing a huge amount of inflows from those ETFs. We will talk more about those in just a second, but let's take a look at what else is going on in the markets here. Before we continue, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. In terms of the biggest gainers here in the last 24 hours, we've got eCash up almost 70%, SHIB up another 53%, and Theta up almost 30% as well. So we are seeing some significant moves for some of the high cap coins here, but I do think there is potential in those high cap coins because a lot of them have not seen gains quite like we typically see in an altcoin season. So we are, I do believe, facing a huge opportunity here still, and I think there is still a huge amount of potential in those high cap coins there. Rob says in the chat, what is Ethereum's all-time high? Let's check that quickly. So if we go to, we are currently trading at $3,759 for Ethereum, has been in an upwards line since the start of the week, seeing some really nice price action there. The highest Ethereum has ever been is at the $4,871 on the Binance Ethereum USDT chart there. So we are getting closer to that. We are approximately, let's see how far away from that we are, 23% below that at this point in time. Now, if we take a look at Bitcoin, in fact, we've got it up here. We are much closer than that, 23% versus on Bitcoin. We are only 3% away from the all-time high, so getting very, very close there. And we are seeing Bitcoin ETFs have a huge amount of inflows, which is pushing the Bitcoin price up. So that's why we're seeing so much volatility here, and maybe why we haven't seen such a big flip on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, because Bitcoin has that easy access, doesn't have that barrier to entry, and has those inflows coming in, so keeping that ratio there pretty strong. But pretty nice price action going on here right now. If we take a look at Ethereum, let's do a little bit of analysis here and see what's going on the 1 hour chart. It's just going up in a straight line. Absolutely insane price action here, playing catch up against Bitcoin. We are facing new yearly highs being made for Ethereum as we speak. We have just touched the $3,764 level for the first time this year, and I hope to see Ethereum continue to rally while Bitcoin takes this short breather. If we take a look at what goes on the 15-minute chart for Bitcoin, we can see that we are seeing a little bit of consolidation. We are seeing a little bit of a little pullback on the smaller time frames. What we've got here is we have a level of support that's running across here on the 15-minute chart, but right now we have seen a little bit of a pullback from those highs there to as low as $65,000, 5.25% below that yearly high we did wick down to. But right now we're seeing some nice consolidation. I'm not sure how long this is going to last. I've just seen a tweet that said, why do you think BlackRock would care about the horizontal levels of resistance? And that is so true. These ETFs are seeing huge amounts of inflows. Institutional investors are getting involved. We've got some really big news about BlackRock wanting to push the Bitcoin ETFs further. In today's stream, we will be talking about that. So we have reason to believe that, look, resistance isn't something that Bitcoin cares too much about right now, and I like that. I like that a lot. Before we continue, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We do these live streams every single weekday, and I would appreciate it if you tune in every single day and check out what's going on in the crypto space as well. So right now, we have about 8 likes on today's stream. Let's try and hit 35 again today. We did very well yesterday. Let's try and beat that today. Let's see what's going on here in the news. Oh no, we've got some data to go through first, and then we'll take a look at what's going on in the news. Rob says, as much as I want Bitcoin to hit a new all-time high, I suppose it's better to hang around at these levels for alts. We need to give altcoins a room to catch up, but I don't know when Bitcoin is going to let that happen. We all have seen previously in cycles when Bitcoin performs really well, altcoins and Ethereum only really start to play catch up and exceed those gains when Bitcoin has some sort of pullback and some breather. But Bitcoin hasn't really given the rest of the market the room to do that this time. So I would like to see some consolidation. I would like to see Ethereum continue to pump to the upside against Bitcoin. But is that going to happen? Is Bitcoin going to give it the time to do that? We don't know at this point. If we take a look at what happened in the previous cycle, and we put a line across here, in the previous cycle, the all-time high was at $20,000, and it did take us quite a while to break through that. If we take a look here, Bitcoin first tried to kind of rally up to that $20,000 level on the 24th of November, and we only hit it on the 16th of December. So we're looking at just short of a month, around 3 weeks, trying to break through that all-time high before we successfully got that breakout. Now, this could be the same here. We could see that play out here. But I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced that that is going to be the case. I'm not in an up-only mentality. I am very much aware that Bitcoin can experience 20-30% pullbacks at any point in time during a bull market. But right now, I'm not convinced that the ETF inflows are going. I'm not convinced we're going to see that pullback yet. And I do think we will get those opportunities at some point in the market. I don't think we're immune from pullbacks just because these ETFs have gone live. We've already seen a 22% pullback since the ETFs went live, so we know that for a fact. I'm just not convinced that we will see one right now. And when we look at pullbacks in this kind of market, I'm not looking at them as a risk. I'm looking at them as an opportunity. So if anything, we want those opportunities. But I don't know if the markets are going to give us them right now. If we take a look at what is going on here, obviously nothing is financial advice. Do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor, so these are all just my own opinions. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Good morning, good evening, Jason from Australia. Save with Crypto. Hello, thank you very much for tuning in. As always, good morning, Stuart. Good morning, Rob. Let's take a look at what is going on here because we've got some really important data here which will show you why I am feeling very bullish today. And that data is that there are some key liquidation levels above the all-time high. We're looking at $69,140 being a key liquidation level here, meaning traders are shorting. Traders are shorting here. And if the price of Bitcoin moves to the upside, those traders are going to get liquidated. Now, we all know Bitcoin likes to take the path of most pain. So when we're looking at this chart, we see those yellow lines as magnets for the Bitcoin price. And right now, there's a magnet above the Bitcoin all-time high. That is absolutely insane to see. I refreshed this chart this morning, and I was very happy with what I saw. So we've got those magnets there above the all-time high, which could trigger a massive run to the upside. Once we break the all-time high, there's a huge amount of potential. There's no levels of resistance to break. When we break through the $20,000 level in the previous cycle, Bitcoin moved like I've never ever seen it move before. On the 1 minute time frame at this point here, it was absolutely insane. And I would love to see that price action again. I very much hope that I'm in front of this screen when Bitcoin does break break through that $69,000 level, because it's such a good feeling to just see it go up in a straight line. And that only happens every now and then. So hopefully we do see Bitcoin break through that all-time high. I think with these magnets there, we can be filled with a little bit more confidence that it may come sooner than a lot of us were expecting. Fingers crossed those traders do get liquidated, because we don't like the shorters here on the channel. We like the Bitcoin bulls, not the bears. I personally don't short Bitcoin, but if you do and you're profitable from that, then good on you, but it's just not what I do. Let's take a look what's going on here. Boris says hello from the Philippines. Hello. Web3 Spud is in the chat as well. Make sure to check out Spud's latest interview with Orange on this YouTube channel. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We do these live streams every single day, and Spud interviews different cryptocurrency projects here on the channel as well, so make sure to check that out. Let's see what else is going on here. So we are in extreme greed right now. 90 on the Fear and Greed Index, showing extreme greed. This makes me feel fearful. This is the factor that makes me feel fearful. However, those liquidation levels, I think they're very tempting for Bitcoin. I think they are very tempting, and the inflows with these ETFs, there is a narrative here that we can run with. We all know there will be a pullback at some point in time. We don't know when. I just don't think it's now. I just really don't think it's now. Jason Smith says it seems that with the inflows of ETFs, it seems to have thrown out some of the usual trends with Bitcoin. This could just be a deflection from the big moves that alts are making. What's your thoughts? I mean, Bitcoin has, the ETFs have removed the barrier for entry for Bitcoin, and that really changes the markets. And I think it's really important to notice that and be aware of that, because another thing to think about here is the Ethereum ETFs. Right now, there's no real barrier to entry when it comes to Bitcoin, thanks to these ETFs, and that's really good for the Bitcoin price. But what does it mean for altcoins? Because typically, altcoins and Ethereum are outperforming Bitcoin during a bull market. That's what's happened in history. But right now, Bitcoin doesn't have a barrier for entry, and the rest of the market does. So with that, Bitcoin's seeing a huge amount of inflows, and therefore, I think there may be a shift in this cycle of the ratio between Bitcoin and Ethereum and some altcoins, because the amount of money flowing into Bitcoin is higher in proportion to the amount of money flowing into the altcoin space and the people that sign up to centralized exchanges and input their money on those centralized exchanges. So with that barrier for entry removed from Bitcoin, it may be able to keep some domination in the let's take a look at that. In fact, let's pull up. There we go. So we can see that Bitcoin can have a massive fall in a bull market because the rest of the space is dominating the space. But with the Bitcoin ETFs removing that barrier to entry for Bitcoin, we may not see this fall as quickly as we have done in previous cycles. Now, this theory, I believe, kind of gets invalidated if the Ethereum ETF goes live in May, because that would mean that the barrier for entry has been removed for Ethereum as well. Then we have the potential for lots of other altcoins seeing ETFs as well. So I'm very keen for those Ethereum ETFs to launch in May. Fingers crossed they do. We have seen in the latest news, Ethereum ETF delayed again. It says new infidelity inflow record. So we're seeing the Ethereum ETFs get delayed. The SEC have a set amount of deadlines to reach before they have to come up with a strong conclusion whether they are going to accept or reject the ETFs. We all saw it with the Bitcoin ETFs and how they worked, and now we have to wait for that with the Ethereum ones as well. So they've had another deadline where they've delayed their decisions, but in May, that's the final deadline. The SEC needs to say yes, we accept, or no, we reject the Ethereum ETFs, and they need to give a valid reason why. The analysts are saying there's about 50% chance that those ETFs will go live, but I've got my fingers and toes crossed, because that is what I want to see. That is what I want to see in these markets. Otherwise, we may see some shifts there, as you said, and as I've said, around how much the Bitcoin dominance does fall in this cycle and how much money can be made when comparing altcoins to their Bitcoin value. I think there is some comparisons there that we need to be keeping an eye on, because the ETFs are huge. They are huge. That's something we've been fighting for a long time. And I don't want to see them come into this market and say, no, everything's going to play out exactly like it did before. This is a huge change for the industry, and this is what we've been fighting for a very long time. Yes, I want to be aware that the 4-year cycles are here. The trend is your friend until the end. We will see pullbacks along the way. But I want to also identify how big these ETFs are and how much they can change the space. We're seeing Bitcoin adverts literally on Wall Street, projected onto the walls on Wall Street. We're seeing BlackRock and other asset managers promoting Bitcoin investments. And we're also seeing them wanting to include Bitcoin in some of their funds, which we will discuss later in today's stream. So big news is coming to the space, and big prices are here as well. So it's very, very nice to see. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Ethereum is still pumping here, made a new yearly high once again. If we take a look at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, let's take a look at what's going on here. It is pumping here right now on the 15-minute chart, pumping and trying to regain some of the dominance against Bitcoin there. Definitely worth keeping an eye on this chart because we're seeing a strong reversal right now. We are seeing a strong reversal. If we pull this up, do we have a strong line here, or is this not really intact? So let's go to the 4-hour chart and see what's going on here. Let's zoom in. So maybe this is the signal that this was the end of that, and we have hit a level of support there. If we take a look at that, we definitely have a level of support there that was touched perfectly on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, on the 4-hour chart. And we are now seeing a very strong bounce. If you look at that daily chart, that makes me very happy. That makes me very happy to see that price action there. Hopefully we continue. Hopefully Ethereum regains that 0.06 level against Bitcoin there, and we can see some altcoins really have their time to shine again. Let's carry on and see what else is going on here in the news. So right now, March, it has seen a 9.12% increase for Bitcoin. It's a bit of a mixed month here, not always super bullish, not always super bearish. So we are kind of in the middle of there, but hopefully it is a bullish month. I expect it to be, but who knows here in crypto, who knows? I'm very cautious not to get the up only mentality, but it's so hard in this moment in time. Let's see what's going on here. Lost reception, I'm out about back in reception again. Hello PG, thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I very much appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We currently have 19 likes on today's stream on YouTube. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification button. Let's try and get to that 35 like goal before the end of today's stream. Let's see what else is going on here. How many days have we got until the Bitcoin halving? We are looking at 47 days. We are getting closer and closer to the inflation rate being halved, and that can only mean one thing for Bitcoin. Typically, we have seen a huge bull market off the back of that halving, so fingers crossed this bullish momentum continues as it should, and there is all the more reason to believe that we could see a supply shock this year as well. So good things are coming. Good things are coming. It's very nice to be in the market at this point in time, because in the bear market, it was tragic. Being on crypto Twitter was a horrible place. Working in crypto during a bear market is not easy. And people will say that you are lucky, but you are not. It is hard work. But we are now reaping the rewards. So I'm very, very glad that we all stuck around during that. Rob says, how much are the new buyers a factor of the fear greed index though? Maybe us involved in crypto are greedy, but all the new retail or institutional investors that have small allocation don't factor. 7 months in a row in the green, always a good sign. Cool, new all-time high by this time tomorrow then. Maybe. I mean, with those liquidation levels, I'm finding it hard to see why Bitcoin would go, do you know what? It's time for a dump here. I know we have that level of resistance, but the Bitcoin ETFs are seeing huge amounts of inflows, and Bitcoin takes the path of most pain. We have a magnet up there to be aware of. In the lower time frames, if we zoom right out here, on the 1 week time frame, you can see we do have some key liquidation levels at around $61,000. So we do need to be aware that there is a magnet there. But I'm interested to see what happens here. Could we see a pullback to $61,000? What percentage change is that? So that would mean, let's go back to BTC USDT. To go back to $61,000, we would need to see a drop of around 11%. Now, we haven't seen too much of that in the markets since these ETFs went live. It is possible that we could go down to those levels, but I've got my eye on those higher levels at $69,100. I like the idea of those shorters being liquidated here, and with these Bitcoin ETFs, a 10% pullback hasn't been hugely common, but we'll have to see how that goes. We will be back here on the stream tomorrow to update on that and say whether those traders have got liquidated on the higher end. I hope they have. I hope we have a new all-time high coming very soon. The price looks looks very, very nice right now. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Somebody has said in the live chat, Jason has said, don't forget the date of the halving. CSE is on 3.99k subs. Maybe tomorrow will be the day. Maybe tomorrow will be the day. We are on a mission to get to 4,000 subscribers here right now. Thank you very much for reminding me. We are on 3,994 subscribers. So very, very close to that subscriber goal. If you would not mind, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. Let's see what else is going on here. We have to get onto the cryptocurrency news because big news is here today. We have ETF updates, Ethereum ETF delayed again, as expected. We didn't expect the SEC to accept all of these ETFs before that final deadline. We know that they don't have a brilliant opinion on crypto, so why give us that big smile and that big grin earlier than they have to? Why admit defeat earlier than they have to? So we are seeing some delays there, but that is expected, and we are still seeing new infidelity inflow records. So we are seeing Bitcoin ETFs have new record inflow, which is nice to see. We are just building and building and building. When these Bitcoin ETFs first launched, there was a little bit of fears that we were going to see a huge amount of excitement and attraction and then it kind of drop off a cliff, but we have not seen that at all. We are almost 2 months into these Bitcoin ETFs being live and we are seeing new inflow records on the daily. It is insane to see this kind of price action. Really nice price movements here. So the approval or rejection decision for both BlackRock and Fidelity spot Ethereum ETFs by the SEC has been postponed once again, with analysts highlighting March as the critical month. The SEC revealed in separate filings on the 4th of March that it will delay its verdict on BlackRock's iShares Ethereum Trust and Fidelity's Ethereum Fund applications. This latest postponement was largely anticipated, as industry observers and ETF analysts have speculated that the SEC would likely only make their final decision when the deadline approaches in May. So Bloomberg ETF analyst highlighted the 23rd of May as the crucial date for VanEck's spot Ethereum ETF application, suggesting it is the pivotal moment for Ethereum ETFs. Now, imagine what happens here if Ethereum ETFs get accepted. We are going to see the application for so many different altcoins having ETFs. We could then see funds holding a basket of altcoin ETFs and just see the barrier for entry for cryptocurrency be completely removed here. This is insane what's happening right now. Imagine an Ethereum advert on Wall Street projected onto the walls. Let's see what's going on here in the chat. So this delay follows the SEC's initial postponement of the decision on BlackRock and Fidelity's Ether ETF applications in January. The SEC can extend its decision-making process up to 3 times before reaching a final decision. Now, can Ethereum compete with Bitcoin? So not everybody is convinced that the potential Ether ETF will have the same success as the spot Bitcoin ETF. Bloomberg analyst Eric Balchunas has expressed his doubt, stating his opinion that the Ethereum ETF is small potatoes compared to the Bitcoin ETF. It is worth noting that BlackRock's IBIT has already successfully amassed over $10 billion. We do know that Ethereum in general has attracted less investment. It is the second biggest cryptocurrency in terms of market cap. I agree with this statement that, look, BlackRock's, the Bitcoin ETFs are going to be bigger than the Ethereum ETFs, but I think Ethereum ETFs could gain some attraction, especially because people may see this as their second lifeline. They missed the Bitcoin ETF boom, so people may say, look, maybe the Ethereum one is the next thing that we could see those big, nice inflows for. So it's interesting to see how this will play out. As I said, I really want to see an Ethereum ETF get over the line this year. I think it's important for the cryptocurrency space and important for those altcoins to see some nice inflows. But nevertheless, even though Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency right now that has that removed barrier to entry, it's creating hype and excitement around the cryptocurrency space again. So it's creating that interest for crypto, and that's really important for the space, and it's what we need to see a nice big bull market. Let's see what's going on here in the market. So let's move on to the next article here. One last thing to mention is there have been conversations about Ethereum ETFs offering staking services as well. Really interesting opportunity there, and definitely something worth keeping in mind when we're looking at that potential interest in Ethereum ETFs, because that could really drive some investors towards that as opposed to the Bitcoin ETFs, because of the idea that they could earn interest on their Ethereum staking through these ETF protocols. So really interesting conversations there nevertheless, and we will learn more about that as time goes on. Hopefully when they get accepted, we'll see some really nice price action. Let's see what else is going on here, but before we do, let's check in with the Ethereum price. Let's see how Ethereum is performing here. So still pumping very nicely, but I've just noticed there on that chart before we tuned off, Bitcoin must be pumping. Bitcoin must be pumping. It is right now. So on the 15-minute chart, we are seeing it move to the upside slightly. On the 1-minute chart, we're seeing some nice rallies here. It's definitely in an uptrend here. We have seen a little bit of a pullback, but we have those magnets. We have those magnets at $61,000. So definitely keeping an eye on that. Let's see what else is going on in the crypto space here. So MicroStrategy wants to raise $600 million from convertible senior notes. The company is moving to raise more cash. Hold on one second. Before we continue, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. In this news article, we are seeing that MicroStrategy announced that it aims to raise $600 million of convertible senior notes via a private offering. So essentially, they want to create $600 million through investment, and then they want to invest that into Bitcoin. So they've said MicroStrategy will be obligated to pay interest to investors twice a year on 15th of March and 15th of September. But essentially what they want to do is they want to buy more Bitcoin. A convertible senior note is a debt security that holds an option for the buyer to turn it into shares of the company they were issued by. This allows the company to raise capital while investors who purchase the notes will earn interest on their initial outlay. In MicroStrategy's case, it grants it the ability to access cash quickly with the assumption it will use the cash to buy more Bitcoins. This is an assumption here, but it's a great assumption because that's all MicroStrategy seem to want to do right now. They are accumulating and accumulating, dollar cost averaging in, and Michael Saylor has said, look, we are going to continuously buy the top. We are dollar cost averaging in. He has said Bitcoin is a what did he say it was? He said it, I had the word in my head then and I've lost it. He said that Bitcoin is better than than real estate and investing into gold. He said this is the number one asset. I don't want to sell into anything. I want to buy more Bitcoin, and I will continue to buy the Bitcoin and continue to buy the top. So we are seeing very bullish comments from Michael Saylor as always, and very bullish movements from MicroStrategy there. Nothing that we don't expect right now. We'd be very concerned if they changed their attitude on Bitcoin, but I can't see that happening anytime soon. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Rob says, I think it's meant to reduce them, Matthew. Let's take a look at this. Matthew B says, does the Duncan upgrade affect Ethereum transaction fees? We have spoke about this before on the channel. If you go to cryptosavingexpert.com and you search in the news section, we have spoke about this. Yes, Ethereum always has upgrades throughout the years. What they're doing is they are trying to make Ethereum more scalable, which means faster transaction fees, lower transaction speeds as much as possible. And as technology advances and as they come up with new ways to improve the scalability of the blockchain, they make the upgrades there, and it's really important. Everybody is familiar with what happened in September 2022 when Ethereum transitioned from proof of work to proof of stake, and we have a whole roadmap for Ethereum where it's constantly evolving, constantly improving, trying to be more scalable, bring down those transaction fees, fasten up those transaction speeds, and continuously developing to be the best network it can be. And that's really important. I think a lot of people look at some altcoins and say there is potential for an Ethereum killer here, and I personally don't believe there is. I believe that because Ethereum is constantly being updated, and because it's been around for so long, and because it has that kind of household name, it's very, very hard to replace that. And unless something amazing comes across, there are some competitors there that can gain some of the market share. I find it very hard to believe that there's an Ethereum killer out there unless something were to go drastically wrong with Ethereum. Slightly off topic there from your question, but I hope that makes sense. Let's take a look at what else is going on here in the cryptocurrency news. So Taiwan is to implement updated digital asset regulations in September. So the chairman of the Taiwanese Financial Supervisory Commission has announced plans to upgrade the country's digital asset regulations. And in other news, Bitcoin's market cap has reached an all-time high. It's surpassed its 2021 high. So if we take a look at BTC market cap here, Here we go. You can see that the market cap reached a high of $1.351 trillion versus the high back in November. You can see slight shift there. We are still above that there, creating a new market cap. So the reason that the market cap is higher but the Bitcoin price is lower is because we've seen inflation over the last couple of years. So that changes the price because of the supply and demand economics, but essentially the market cap is the highest it has ever been, which is very, very bullish and very nice to see. Let's see what else is going on here in the markets. So there is a report that 70% of stablecoins in circulation are USDT. Now, over the years, there has been a huge amount of complaints about USDT, its backing and the concerns around it, but it has managed to withstand all of that. It's done the test of time. They are trying to be more transparent with their reserves and how they reserve and back the USDT tokens, and they have managed to gain a huge amount of market share there, with 70% of stablecoins in circulation coming from USDT. I think it may have helped with the problems with the regulatory concerns with BUSD and that kind of coming to a close, and some issues with USDC earlier last year. So USDT has managed to gain a huge amount of the market share there. Nothing that we didn't really expect because of the longevity of the project and how intertwined it is within the cryptocurrency space. Let's take a look at what else is going on here in the cryptocurrency news. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest news. We do these live streams every single weekday, and I would appreciate it if you tuned in with me every single day. Rob says hit that like button and Bitcoin moves to 68,000 during this stream. Fact and not financial advice. I agree. Let's see if we can get to, how close are we to 4,000 subscribers right now. We have 34 people watching this stream on YouTube right now, and we have exactly 3,993 subscribers. So if you would not mind, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. We're trying to get those last 7 subscribers to get us to 4,000, and we are on a goal to get 35 likes on today's stream as well before we close off. So please don't forget to interact with the stream as much as possible. It really does help. And Matthew B says, remember to hit the sub bell as well, which is very important, so you do get notified when we do these live streams. Let's take a look at what else is going on here in the space. Meme coins are rallying. We are seeing a wave of meme coin frenzy hitting the market. We've seen Pepe, Doge, and SHIB perform incredibly well. If we take a look in the markets right now, Doge is number 10 in terms of market cap, up over 90% within the last week. SHIB is up over 280% within the last week, up another 53% within the last 24 hours. It's going absolutely insane. And as we all have to remember, just because a project doesn't really have much utility doesn't mean it can't pump. The community and the hype is just as important as the utility at times. Let's see what else is going on in the crypto space. Node Monks has third highest value profile picture collection. So the Bitcoin Ordinals collection has risen to become the first largest NFT profile picture collection there. So projects Ordinals on the Bitcoin blockchain are gaining a huge amount of traction. There's a huge amount of conversation about these right now and hype around these right now. And we are seeing new collections entering those top ranks there for NFTs. So it's nice to see. Originally, I was very much against Ordinals because of the congestion on the Bitcoin network, and I do personally think Bitcoin should be left alone to be the peer-to-peer payment system. But we've seen the hype, we've seen the excitement, people are taking advantage of that, and I understand why. Let's see what else is going on here. Crypto industry approaches $2.5 trillion market cap. Absolutely insane. So the industry as a whole, the investment in the entire industry, is reaching an all-time high valuation, which is absolutely insane. It's lovely to read these articles after seeing just record lows after record lows in that bear market we've just experienced. Let's carry on here. So the ETF update, the BlackRock ETF hits $10 billion, and GBTC outflows are still strong. Now we are seeing this continue, but we all know GBTC can't sell forever. There's a limited amount of Bitcoin that they have left to see these amount of outflows. So we're seeing here that In 39 trading days, BlackRock's ETF has surpassed $10 billion in assets under management. It is a particularly significant milestone, given it took the first gold ETF more than 2 years to reach the same level. So it took 2 years for the gold ETF to reach $10 billion assets under management, and it took Bitcoin 2 months. 2 years versus 2 months. That shows the contrast there and how big this really is. Last week, IBIT saw significant inflows surpassing $500 million on 3 consecutive trading days and finished the week with total inflows of $2.05 billion. Huge movements here. Now, as I said, we are still seeing GBTC have outflows with no real signs of it slowing down. The only sign that we have is, look, they can't sell forever. They can't sell like this forever. They can't have these amount of outflows forever. So hopefully we do see that start to slow down within the coming weeks. But who knows how long that's going to take. Let's take a look. We've got 2 more articles here today. This one's a really interesting here. Rob says just because some don't like meme coins doesn't mean they won't pump and make a lot of money. Lots of people, a lot of money. They are just a part of crypto now. They definitely are. They definitely are. And I've learned over the years that maybe it's not best to just say, oh, I don't like them. Maybe it is best to pay interest in where the hype is and where the communities are. Let's see what's going on here. So Bitcoin sees return of kimchi premium in South Korea and CME futures market. So the kimchi premium is actually the premium that allowed Sam Bankman-Fried to make all the money that he did before starting FTX. So the kimchi premium is the difference in the Bitcoin value in South Korea to America, I want to say. So what we can see, South Korea to Bitcoin was okay. So I think it is to America. I think it is. Essentially, the kimchi premium looks at the difference in the valuation of Bitcoin from South Korea to America, and it means that there is a significant difference between those prices, and there's a huge opportunity there. And this is the opportunity that Sam Bankman-Fried, the former FTX CEO, took advantage of. So what you could actually do is, at this point in time, you can actually buy Bitcoin in South Korea for $4,000 more than in the US. So at the point of this article being written, you can see there is a 5% discrepancy here or there between the price of Bitcoin in South Korea and in America. See, what you can do is you can buy your Bitcoin in America, sell it in South Korea, and make a 5% profit. That's what people have done from time to time, and it's looking like an arbitrage opportunity essentially. So with that, people can make a huge amount of money, just like Sam Bankman-Fried did. I think back in the day, it was a little bit more complex to make those wire transfers and transfer the money from one region to another, because you're left then with South Korean money, and then you have to get that back into the dollar and redo that over and over again. And eventually the gap closes and there's no longer a premium there. But that's what's been happening in the markets today, and it's not only for Bitcoin, it's for Ethereum as well. Around 5% discrepancy for Ethereum there too. So that's what Sam Bankman-Fried did. Definitely an opportunity to consider if you have access to all of the tools. Obviously, you would need a South Korea exchange and a American exchange, or a non-American exchange like a UK exchange, and you would need a bank account in both regions and have to look at all the regulations and comply to all those regulations. So it's a very complex process, but there is the opportunity there, and some people manage to take advantage of that. Let's see what else is going on in the space here. BlackRock looking to include Bitcoin exposure in other funds, and this is what I was talking about earlier in today's stream. Very big opportunity here. So now that BlackRock have launched a Bitcoin ETF, they're saying, well, we want to include that ETF in some of our funds here. So the asset manager has filed an amendment to include Bitcoin exposure in its Strategic Income Opportunities Fund. So this is a fund essentially where people can invest and try and make some income. I believe that this fund is one that, rather than trying to make a percentage gain in terms of the stock value for an investor over a period of time, instead, the fund concentrates on earning dividends, or making an income for the investors, essentially. So this fund is called the Strategic Income Opportunities Fund, and BlackRock is saying, look, we want to get exposure to Bitcoin within this fund. We want to get some exposure. So they've made some amendments to their filings in the hopes that they can invest in some Ethereum ETFs, whether that's spot or futures, we don't know. Maybe some crypto-related stocks as well. Huge amounts of opportunities there. So the filing states the fund may acquire shares in ETFs ETPs that seek to reflect generally the performance of the price of Bitcoin by directly holding Bitcoin, including shares of Bitcoin ETP, sponsored by an affiliate of BlackRock. So they're saying, look, we want to buy the ETFs for our strategic income opportunities. This essentially means that people invest in the BlackRock funds, may not even have any interest in crypto, may not even know what it is, but they could have some exposure to the Bitcoin price through their traditional investment systems. So definitely some opportunities there, and BlackRock would buy a significant amount to put into this fund, I believe, if this is accepted. So huge opportunities here, and this is what we've all been talking about and why we all wanted these ETFs for so long, because it removes the barrier for entry, and it does mean, look, people can get exposure to this industry like never before. People that don't even know what it is may have exposure to this industry right now. Absolutely insane price action with what's going on with these ETFs. If we take a look at what's going on with the Bitcoin price right now, we are seeing on this lower time frames a little bit of a pump here. We're at $67,153 right now. As we said earlier in today's stream, if we go to the liquidation levels, we have some liquidation points at $61,000, but the one I'm most interested in is the ones at $69,140. They're what I'm interested in. There are some opportunities here for Bitcoin to liquidate some shorters there, break that all-time high, because Bitcoin takes the path of most pain, and there's lots of shorts in the market right now. So that would be the path of most pain in the shorter time frame. So maybe that's what we should be looking at there. But who knows, really? Who knows? Because this is Bitcoin, and it does like to just do what we all don't expect. If we take a look at what's going on here, on the 1 hour chart, Ethereum has been massively outperforming Bitcoin this morning, and it is pumping very nicely. If we take a look here, it's having a little bit of a breather now after some significant gains. We have created a new yearly high for Ethereum this morning at $3,770. Really nice price action here. Hopefully we continue to see this and we see some nice movements for the rest of the week. I'm really hoping we do see an all-time high for Bitcoin this week. Let's see what's going on here. Whoop says, Michael Saylor said Bitcoin is a superior asset. That's the phrase I was looking for. That's the one that was on the tip of my tongue. Matthew B says, early top and long bear or up only, or good question, Peter Dell. Peter Dell says, Jess, how far do you think we are in the bull market? Very hard to determine at this point in time because the cycles are not what they have been previously. Definitely if we break the all-time high here, then the markets have shifted. If we take a look at BTC USD, on the Bitstamp chart, you can see that we can take a look at what's happened with the previous halvings and such. So if we go to here, this yellow line here is where the Bitcoin halving will take place this year, around that date, somewhere very close to that date. So you can see that historically what we've seen is a pump post-halving, and then a bear market, and then a couple of months of accumulation before the next halving and bull market can begin. So what we've seen right now is Bitcoin's pumping a lot faster than we anticipated. When Bitcoin was at $16,000, I was saying 50k is the pre-halving maximum. Everyone was like, you are insane. Bitcoin's not hitting $50,000 within the next 3 months. And then it did. So I was happy with that target when we hit it, but we've exceeded that even further. People thought I was too bullish. I was too bearish. What we've got here is Bitcoin is approaching that all-time high. Now, if we take a look at how long the bull market lasts post Bitcoin creating a new all-time high, it's typically around 10 months. So if Bitcoin creates a new all-time high today, we could have 10 months of bullish momentum if we're looking at that statistic. But there are other statistics to look at as well. If we take a look at the length of a bull market, you can see that typically they last, well, here we had 735 days. Here we had 1,100 days. And here we had 1,080 days. So if we look at the last two cycles, they're around 1,100 days. If we take the bottom of the bear market here, and go to 1,100 days, this puts us towards the end of 2025. Now, if we also take a look at the length of a bull market post-halving, that also puts us in around September 2025. So had the price action continued to act like it previously does, had we seen Bitcoin hit $50,000 and then see a little bit of pullback during the halving, I would have still had my eyes set on September 2025. But because we've seen such dramatic price action, I am slightly concerned that maybe we have seen a little bit of a shift to the left. I am expecting an amazing bull market. Obviously, nothing is financial advice. That I am seeing a lot of potential in the markets right now. I am being cautious that maybe we will see a top earlier than expected, so I do want to be making sure to take profits along the way. When I'm taking profits right now, I'm moving back into Bitcoin. I'm not moving into the dollar, but there will come a point within the next 10 months post all-time high breaking where I will be concerned and be taking some off the table, because we never all really know where the price is going to go. We are all making predictions, trying to find the most probable scenario, but that's what it is. It's probability. So make sure to take profits along the way at all times. We never know when this is going to end. We are all very happy about the price action here, but we do need to be careful. We need to be cautious, and we don't want to go through all this time and effort to make money just to lose it because we can't take profits. So make sure to take profits along the way always. Let's see what's going on here. Rob Dell says, yes, Bitcoin is superior, unlike these rubbish meme coins who can go to zero within an hour. Jonathan says, Bob Lucas predicted a double top, so an early all-time high retrace and hit it again. Potential, that's what we saw in the previous cycle. Lee says, gonna make my own meme coin, gonna call it Peter Dell Inu coin. And Peter, I like that coin. Peter Dell will rug pull us all. Imagine that. Peter Dell, the meme coin hater, having his own token to rug pull us all. I would invest. Let's take a look at what's going on here for Ethereum right now. So it is seeing a little bit of a pullback on the 15-minute chart, on the 5-minute chart, but it's not looking too bad at all. I think this is because Bitcoin's just decided to move to the upside here, to have a little bit of a tear to the upside again. So who knows? We might be coming on the live stream tomorrow to announce a new all-time high. I would absolutely love that. Imagine if we come on tomorrow and Bitcoin's at $70,000 plus. Absolutely insane price action here, and I'm really not ruling that off the table. But that's all we have for today's stream, so thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I very much appreciate it. I hope you have enjoyed today's stream. We will be back here tomorrow with another live stream, so make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, and tune in every single day. That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.